Hello, and welcome to our look back at some Plainfield dining spots of the 20th century. We're going to start to the east of town and work our way west, as a general rule going further back in time as we go. Though there are really no strict guidelines here, just a fun walk down memory lane. As you watch, feel free to leave your favorite memories of each eatery in the comments or tell us your favorite thing to eat at each place. Let's start with Loughners Cafeteria. This way to good eating. The Loughners in Plainfield opened in April 1977. Like all of the restaurants in the family-owned cafeteria chain, it featured Tudor-inspired decorating, mismatched dining room chairs, and delicious comfort food. In addition to being the traditional Sunday lunch stop for generations of Plainfield residents, it hosted meetings for civic groups such as the Optimist and Rotary Clubs. By the late 1980s, however, many cafeterias were facing economic problems, and the Loughners chain was no exception. On December 1st, 1998, the Plainfield Loughners closed for the last time, to be torn down and replaced by a Staples superstore. Eventually, the Staples was torn down as well, and now a St. Vincent Care Center stands on the spot. Next up is Fredericks Hospitality House. Fredericks started out in the Masonic Building at the southeast corner of Main and Center Streets, when Leo and Ethel Frederick bought the Morrisons Cafe near the end of 1943. Sometimes known as Fredericks and sometimes known as the Sunshine Cafe, their restaurant remained in that location until they sold it in 1947 and moved to Florida. Returning in 1953, they reopened at 101 East Main Street. The Fredericks lasted 3 years there before selling out to the Coopers. In 1960, they were back at the Masonic Building for a brief time as the Sunshine Cafe, before moving into the newly constructed Plainfield Plaza as Fredericks Hospitality House. The back of the postcard that you see here boasts, quote, private dining rooms, established 1942, serving steaks, chops, chicken, seafoods, stews, roasts, homemade pie, and bread, end quote. Fredericks Hospitality House was replaced by Waffle House around 1970, and the building today houses Aaron's Furniture. Just down the road to the west and across the street, do you remember the Burger Ranch Drive-In? Located at 1630 East Main Street, the Burger Ranch was a popular spot for burgers, fries, malts, and shakes. The Burger Ranch offered quick service in a fun environment. Operated by Robert Brizendine, the grand opening for the Burger Ranch was June 13, 1958. They were known for their basket dinners as well as a succulent 12-ounce sirloin steak for $2. Ice cream, malts, pizza, and good coffee were also on the menu. Here you see some ads from the Plainfield Messenger, as well as the only photograph we have in our collection of the Burger Ranch, donated by Bud Cadwell. In the years following the Burger Ranch, another favorite restaurant would appear in the same spot. Clancys! Did any of you ring in 1977 with that famous Indiana breaded tenderloin sandwich from Clancys restaurant? No coupon necessary? Located at 1645 East Main Street, where Donato's Pizza is today, Clancys restaurant was a favorite for many Plainfield residents, and not only because they were one of the first fast food restaurants to offer a salad bar. This picture from October 1979 shows the debut of the salad bar, while in this one, Bob Smith changes the sign to show that although the sign lights are out due to the energy crisis, the store is still open. And check out the picture of the Clancys float in a 1970s era parade. Prior to Clancys, the La Villa Motel was located here. P.S. We don't have a photo of the La Villa Motel. If anyone has one, we'd love to borrow and scan it to add to our Plainfield photo collection. Across the street from Clancy's was Burger Chef. This 1969 photo shows the beloved Plainfield restaurant on East Main Street. You may remember the restaurant chain if you grew up here, but did you know it started in Indianapolis as a way for Frank Thomas Jr.'s Restaurant Equipment Company to demonstrate his food service machines in action? From there, it became the second largest fast food chain in the country. Remember Burger Chef and Jeff? How about the fun meal? How progressive for them to offer something just for kids. And how about that Works bar where you could dress up your hamburger with lettuce, tomato, ketchup, mustard, all by yourself? In October 1982, the restaurant closed on a Sunday night as Burger Chef and reopened Monday morning as Hardee's as part of a nationwide conversion program. In 2009, the original building was razed to make way for a newer Hardee's, which is still there. Now, we're going to move a bit farther west toward downtown Plainfield proper. As we go, you might be surprised to find a few of the restaurants we look at are still going strong today. Some of you may remember Morrisons Pioneer Cottage. But if you don't, and you've ever wondered why there's a log cabin in downtown Plainfield, you're not the only one. Morrisons Pioneer Cottage was a restaurant located at 207 Avon Avenue that was built and opened in 1947. In the 6 years it was open for business, the Western-themed eatery was a popular hangout for students from Plainfield High School, then located just across US 40, today's Central Elementary. The cabin boasted a fireplace with andirons made from old buggy axles, walls decorated with Indian tomahawks, bows and arrows, whips, pictures, old-time shooting irons, and a jukebox. The restaurant even hosted a wedding. Word was they had the best chili in town. In 1953, the owners closed the restaurant and converted the building into a private residence, which it remains today. Just around the corner from Morrison's cabin, and about 30 years later in time, we find Pasquales Pizza and Pasta. For about 10 years, from 1975 to 1985, the restaurant was located at 212 East Main Street. It was just one of a chain of Indianapolis-based eateries founded by Italian immigrant Vito Gramaglia and his sons Vincent and Pasquale. Mostly owned and run by second and third generations of the Gramaglia family, including the descendants of Vito's son-in-law Jim DeCamp, the restaurants were known for their logo of the mustachioed chef displaying a steaming hot pizza. Plainfield's was replaced in later years by a florist shop, a cupcake store, and a brew pub. The building was torn down in 2019 to make way for the Barlow development, which is nearing completion now. Emmanuel and Stacy Apostles owned and operated Stacy's Restaurant, one of the most successful eating establishments in Plainfield. Always visible to his customers, Emmanuel opened the original restaurant in 1972 at 101 East Main Street at the corner of Main and Vine. As usual, you can see Stacy here in the kitchen preparing meals. Their enterprise proved so popular that they eventually relocated to a newly constructed building at 414 West Main Street near White Lick Creek, which provided much needed parking and a larger dining room. The cozy family-style restaurant offered a varied menu and many homemade desserts. Yum! In 1992, Harold and Connie Wingler bought it and renamed it Christies Cafe. Christies closed in February 2008 and was replaced in October that year by Flapjacks, which it remains today. If we go back to Stacy's original home, 101 East Main, we find a long history of restaurants at that location. In fact, in the 50 years from 1922 to 1972, there were 20 different restaurant owners in the space. We've already mentioned that Fredericks was a tenant there in the early 1950s. Some others were Deems, the Blanton Restaurant, and the Christies Cafe. But the longest running eatery, although with many different owners, was the Busy Bee, which occupied the space from 1922 through 1939. Here you see it in 1934, both inside and out. You probably can't see the writing on the window, but it advertises dinner for 40 cents and lunch for 30. Just behind the building that housed the Busy Bee is 111 South Vine, former home of Pizza King, from about 1965 to around 1990. It was a huge hit with the Plainfield High School students, and all of these photos come from various years of the Plainfield yearbook. Anyone remember Count Crispy? The Plainfield Pizza King didn't limit itself to pizza, but put chicken on display as the King's noble backup. After 25 years on Vine Street, Pizza King moved to 350 East Main, where Sal's is located today. Does anyone have any Pizza King memories or photos to share? Be sure to drop us a note in the comments or email us at the Indiana Room. Further west and further back in time, we come to a real Plainfield institution. Stratfords drugstore at the corner of Main and Center Streets not only offered a pharmacy, but also featured a soda fountain. The photos here come from Plainfield High School yearbooks and our photo archives. Here, Bill Stratford Jr. takes students' orders in 1956, while this one shows the fountain area in 1957, and this in 1969. Don't these three local boys on bikes enjoying ice cream under the Center Street awning of the store take you back to the lazy days of summer? Finally, we have Bill Stratford Sr. and Mabel Cummins at the soda fountain. Although Stratford's was eventually sold to Hook's Drugs, and the last day of business was March 26, 1969, it remains a fond memory for untold numbers of those who grew up in Plainfield. In 1959, a Plainfield institution was born when Gene Ward, seen here, moved Als Donuts from 465 and Washington Street to 111 South Vine, the site of the current Milk and Honey Bakery and former site of Pizza King. Gene bought out his partner, Al Kogan. Yes, that's where the Al in Als Donuts comes from. Within a couple of years, Al's had moved to its current location on Main Street. Gene ran the Plainfield Al's, often even answering to that name, until he retired, passing away in 2006. Since then, it has been owned by Chuck and Linda Newsom and then Greg Nichols. Other than some repairs after a truck ran into it in 2000, the shop hasn't changed all that much over the years. It's still a cash-only business, and you still have to get there early because they close when all the donuts are gone, usually by around 9 a.m. Finally, the very recognizable Dairy Queen greets travelers as they enter downtown Plainfield from the west. Built in 1952, the Dairy Queen has been serving ice cream and other cold treats to residents for nearly 60 years. In 2006, a new building was built just to the east of the old one, before the older structure was raised. Now, with inside dining, the store is open all year long, but just as in years past, remains a favorite summer evening stop for bicyclists, little leaguers, or just families out for a treat. By far, this is not a comprehensive look at past dining establishments in our town. In fact, we find that one of the areas we are looking to add to in our photo archives is the collection of restaurant photos, both exterior and interior views. If you would like to donate your photos, or even just loan them to us to scan into our collection, please contact us at the Indiana Room. We would love to see what you have, and feel free to add your memories to the comments before you leave today. Thank you.